Good evening, listeners. Today I'm thinking about a story that's been told in every English living room since the 1960s and keeps resuming whenever the national team pulls a corner before a World Cup. In 1966, at Wembley Stadium, England beat West Germany 4-2 to become the first nation ever to win the campaign's tournament. 2 minutes from the end, core striker Geoff Hurst put the ball in the back of the net, a goal that was still debated for decades, and the crowds roared, the announcer cried, and the country felt for a moment as if it were still a world power. That moment, together with the Beatles, Twiggy and the miniskirt, became a reference point in Britain's post-war narrative. The in-depth commentary in the old essays points out that, by that time Britain had already gone through the Suez Crisis a decade earlier, and the white-capped government was facing an imminent currency collapse and an IMF bailout. The sense of national decline, once it settled into the psyche, made the 1966 victory into a lifeline. It was the only time England lifted the trophy, so collectively it became a yardstick for success, not only in sport but also as a symbolic measure of Britain's place in the world. Fast forward to the next Cups, and the runners-up fans have a new problem: endless excess expectations. Each tournament starts with optimism, as if history should repeat itself, despite all the evidence it does not. In 1982, when the author was 9, England exited in the first round, a string of zeros dry-eyed onto the wall chart in the parents' house. 1986's quarter-final was a bright, as they beat Spain, only to be crushed by Argentina, a country well remembered by the story of the Falklands War. The fans had just defeated their former empire over a strategic set of uninhabited islands, and a new legend, Diego Maradona, scored twice in that match, once in an unmatched display, once with a hand that would later be deemed a hand of God. That's seared into collective memory. In 1990, Meet in Otran, England hit Germany in the semi-finals and lost on penalties. The 1994 tournament never entered the conversation, as the Gunners were irreparably beaten to the third place by Romanians. 1998 brought another crushing defeat to Argentina. By 2002, the sense of futility had crept into day-to-day conversation in the pubs. The author notes the rhythm of the periods: repeated disappointments parallel political upheaval, Brexit, economic stagnation, a revolving door of prime ministers, all grappling to restore that old sense of greatness. People talk about grand occasions, sometimes losing mind whether nationalistic pride is the source of fear or the engine of hope. The article reminds us that the 1966 triumph had to be a relief from a bygone destiny. The nostalgia, a glow that lived in the home of British football, had made later tournaments feel like inevitable disappointment. So every time England reaches the group stage and drags their feet past Nigeria, or loses to a gym named on a map between Portugal and Greece, it breaks more than a match. It cracks a narrative that attempted to keep the nation from wiping its Canterbury slate clean. So, when you'd love to sing classically at the farewell of the next 4-year, remember the window that opened beneath the curving arch of Wembley in 1966, the country's last good match against a former empire that has not seen its front doors swing the same. The past has an allure that keeps stories alive, but the present demands opportunity, autos, and new hope to find its own place. That is what the essay claps at sit yards of London clubs. Between the despair and the triumph, play continues, and we may see Britain reclaim a new kind of greatness in the world's sporting stage. Thank you for listening. Until next time, we'll try to keep the excitement in the match and not in the myth. Goodbye.